Hey guys, Rockwarrior97 here, and today I'm going to take you back on a nostalgic trip to a magical time I like to know as my childhood. But most people tend to call it the 1990s. If you were growing up in the 1990s, at least in the early 90s anyway, the Power Rangers were the shit. Everyone who was a kid from like 1993 to I'm gonna guess like 1999-ish watched the show. The show's had its ups and downs, and a lot of people like to joke about how cheesy it was today, but back then, this show was insanely huge. I can remember growing up and watching the TV show all the time. I missed a few episodes, but not a lot of them. I also, the series originally started out as a Japanese TV show called Super Sentai in the 1970s. It was about a family of about 5 or 6 people, and they would obtain mystical powers and be able to become these. I don't know what they call them. They call them Rangers in the Japanese version, but I don't know if there's a specific name for them or anything. But anyway, the show had been going on for about 20 years almost, and an Israeli television owner by the name of Haim Saban. He did a lot of animation stuff in the 80s with Japan or something, but the 90s when he really broke out. He bought the rights to some of the footage from one of the more recent seasons of the Super Sentai show, and rather than just dubbing over the footage, he decided to Americanize it, and the result was the first season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in 1993. You had Jason, the Red Ranger, and the leader of the group. He's probably, in my opinion, one of the best Rangers of all time. I don't know why, but whenever you see an episode of him with him as the leader, he's just awesome. You had Thuy Trong, the late great Thuy Trong, as Trini, the Yellow Ranger. Walter Jones, who's real life friends with Austin St. John, as Zach, the Black Ranger. You had Amy Jo Johnson as Kimberly, the uber hot Pink Ranger, and David Yost as Billy, the awesome Blue Ranger. Eventually, they added a Green Ranger in the mix by the name of Tommy. He started out evil, though, but was later turned to good for about a couple episodes. This whole show is about these 5 teens, and they are given these magical powers by a mystical wizard known as Zordon. And Zordon is in a tube the whole time because supposedly he needs the tube to survive, because if the tube is destroyed or something, he'll die. The tube's like his life support thing. And they're fighting the evil Rita Repulsa as she attempts to take over the Earth. Yes, the show's cheesy. Yes, the dialogue was bad. The acting was mostly subpar. But this show was, I don't know why, but it had such an awesome appeal to us when we were kids. Of course, the show took a quite surprising turn around the second season in 1994. They replaced Rita Repulsa with a far more badass villain, arguably the greatest Power Ranger villain of all time, Lord Zed. However, Lord Zed's, how shall I put it? Lord Zed did not go, while Power Ranger fans tend to regard him as one of the best villains of the series, a lot of parents complained that he was too scary for kids. I was never scared by him when I was watching the show. Sure, he was creepy, but I would never shut off the TV or start screaming or crying when I saw him. He was awesome, though, I thought, as a villain. Also, and they pretty much kicked out Rita Repulsa from the series after he was introduced for a while. Also, in the middle of Season 2, Tommy loses his Green Ranger powers in a surprising twist. He later becomes the White Ranger and the new leader of the team. Shortly after this, however, Austin St. John, Thuy Trong, and Walter Jones all quit the show because they demanded that they be paid more. Instead of paying them more, Saban actually had them replaced by Rocky, who's played by Stephen Cardenas, Aisha, played by Karen Ashley, and Adam, played by Johnny Young Bosch, who most people know today as Ichigo from Bleach or Kiba from Wolf's Rain. Anyway, the second season was a very transitional season and probably not the best overall, but it did have a lot of rating success and still it was popular with kids. Also, a lot of people like to joke about how in the first season it was racist, and it kind of was if you think about it. Thuy Trong, the actress that played Trini, the Yellow Ranger, is Vietnamese. Yellow Ranger. And Walter Jones, the actor that played Zack, is African. African. Black. And some people actually thought that was the reason why they left the show, but no, really it was just due to a pay dispute. So anyway, after the second season, a movie was in the works. Now, the movie was not exactly canon, or in other words, didn't keep in time with the TV series. But then again, most movies that are based off TV series don't exactly fit in. The movie was a box office success and very popular with fans to this day. Although, of course, critics didn't like it. But hey, it at least didn't utilize the Super Sentai footage, so it actually has like its own key, core, whatever you want to call it, plot. In my opinion, if you haven't seen this movie, don't watch it. You kind of have to like the TV show in order to like the movie. Plus, the movie also has a larger budget, so I don't know. Well, anyway, after the movie came out in the third season, they brought Rita Repulsa back, and they had her and Lord Zed form a relationship. Also, in the third season, they toned down Lord Zed's evilness, substituting it with more comedy. This is where I tend to, how shall I put it, start pinpointing that the series was going in a bit of a nosedive of popularity. But anyway, in Season 3, they lose their dino powers because from Season 1, when Season 1 started, they had the power of the dinosaurs. The Red Ranger had the power of the The Red Ranger had the power of the Tyrannosaurus. The Yellow Ranger had the power of the saber-toothed tiger. The Black Ranger had the power of the Mastodon. The Pink Ranger had the power of the pterodactyl. The Blue Ranger had the power of the Triceratops. And the Green Ranger had the power of the dragon, though later on he would become the White Ranger and have the power of the tiger. So when this season began, Season 3, they all lost their dino powers and replaced them with ninja powers. The White Ranger gains the power of the falcon. The Red Ranger gets the power of the ape. The Yellow Ranger gets the power of the bear. The Black Ranger gets the power of the frog. The Blue Ranger gets the power of the wolf. And the Pink Ranger gets the power of the crane. So anyway, after they get their ninja powers, they use them to fight against the evil team of Rita Repulsa and Lord Zed. Pretty much, this season is viewed by fans as okay. They said it was a little bit better than Season 2 because Season 2 had a couple of really bad episodes. I'm not going to say which ones they are because I don't have much time, but some episodes of Season 2 I really didn't think they were very good. Well, anyway, Season 3 pretty much resulted in a stalemate between Rita and Zed and Zordon and the Rangers. That is, until the very end, where they bring in Rita's father, Master Vile, to turn back time. He ends up turning all the Rangers into little kids, and they can't become Power Rangers anymore. This set the stage for the Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, which I'm not going to go into that much because that really wasn't a full series. The Alien Rangers only lasted 10 episodes. In a nutshell, the Alien Rangers series was where the kids try to find pieces of this crystal called the Zeo Crystal that will restore them to their normal age. It also supposedly give them their powers back. So while the rest of the kids go to search for the Zeo Crystal, Zordon recruits these 5 aliens from a planet called Aquitar, where they're supposedly these weird-looking aliens and they live off water. In a nutshell, they become the temporary replacement Power Rangers for about 10 episodes. At the end of the series, all the Rangers get grown up back to normal, and they all reassemble the Zeo Crystal. The Alien Rangers' powers are no longer needed. However, Aisha, the Yellow Ranger, quits the team and is replaced by Tanya, played by Nakia Baris. Shortly after they reassemble the Zeo Crystal, their command center, which has been their base for the past 3 seasons, ultimately gets destroyed by Rito Revolto, who's like I think Rita Repulsa's brother, I don't really remember, and Goldar, who's pretty much been Rita and Zed's right-hand man throughout all the series. They blow up the command center, and all they're left with is the Zeo Crystal. The Zeo Crystal then takes them to their new command center where Zordon and his robot assistant Alpha 5 built. After they're taken to the new command center, they are all given Zeo powers, with the exception of Billy, who actually gives up his life of being a Power Ranger. However, he does continue to assist them whenever they need help. This began the new season known as Power Rangers Zeo, which most fans tend to say was the last great season, but I strongly disagree.